Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar focusing on SEO and some strategies around that. We're going to get started in about a minute's time. I just want to allow everyone who is registered for today's webinar to get comfortable, set up their audio settings. So you do have about a minute to grab some water and coffee, and we'll get going then. Thanks so much, everyone. All right, let's get started. So for everyone that has joined, thank you for your time today. It says 60 minutes, but this is going to be closer to 30 minutes for all of the slides, and then I'm going to leave as much time as we need at the end, and we'll go through any questions that you have throughout the session. So there is a question box in your toolbar. So, starting now, if you have any questions, you can jot them in now and throughout the session, and I will be very much happy to go through all of them one by one, and I'll make sure that the answers are included for everyone. So we're all learning. And just a little bit of context, every link that I'm bringing up today or topic or strategy, I will include all links in my follow-up email to each and every one of you after the session. So let's hop in. SEO is an incredibly broad topic that can take years to understand and master. So with that being said, our focus today is going to be about what are the first 10 steps that you can take in your SEO strategy that'll make the biggest impact on your website and in the end on your online sales. So my goal is to be as razor sharp as possible, and that includes talking about making your e-commerce shop customer friendly, making your e-commerce shop search engine friendly or SEO friendly, and what are the similarities between the two, and what are the differences. Just as important, we're going to be talking about the philosophy behind how SEO is decided. Why and when did we entrust so much value in Google in terms of consumers and how they find the products and the services that they want? So at this point, you have hopefully built your point of sale system and your e-commerce website and are looking at ways to improve and optimize your online strategy. So to be clear, we're not going to be covering how to build a website or how to set up your product management. This is going to be more advanced for everyone who has a transactional live website. I've said it, I'll say it again, it's a broad and ongoing topic. This is not a one-time task. Unfortunately, a lot with our website is an ongoing, malleable piece of your business that's going to need to evolve over time, just like how SEO evolves over time. At the top, we're going to be covering what is SEO from 35,000 feet in the air, and what does the e-commerce platform and all of our themes and templates, what do they offer you right out of the box? So things you don't have to consider, things that you don't have to worry about. We're going to be talking about increasing conversion, what that means, and some great free tools that would help you start thinking about the customer experience and how that influences your conversion rates. We're going to be going through best practices around finding the strong content or researching keywords, and then how you can use those keywords, how we can use and leverage this research that we've done to understand our customers and to understand the language they use during their searches online, and how we can implement that in our website, as well as our communication strategy across channels like Facebook, Instagram, and even email marketing like newsletters. That includes the solid product information. So how can you improve your product descriptions and your meta descriptions so that you are speaking Google's language and you are very clear with the types of products and the types of services you offer, so Google can then index your website more efficiently and make sure that you're showing up more often in those Google searches. Later on, we're going to be covering some tools and some tricks to help you become better friends with Google and how to speak that search engine language on your website as well as outside your website, what not to do, and I will leave time at the end for a Q&A session. So questions now or questions later, we'll go through those together. SEO, or search engine optimization, is the name given to any and all activity that attempts to improve your rankings on search engines. So before Google, we had the yellow pages. If I personally was looking for a product or a business in and around Montreal where I live, I'm going to look up the yellow pages. I'm going to be able to find a business, call them up, see if they have the products that I'm looking for. In 2020, it's a truly different experience. Customers, before buying products, are going to do a lot of different things now. They're going to research. They're going to look at customer reviews. They're going to want to see the products, probably see images, probably have a product description, maybe even compare prices on different websites. And they're going to want to maybe learn from the experts and what their opinion is in terms of buying these products. It's a completely different journey, and business owners need to update websites so that they can solve all of these steps of the journey. So maybe back in 2010, websites were truly a catalog of products. Product information, you can buy the products and you move on. 2020, you need to provide expertise. You need to provide information and knowledge around your products, as that is now an aspect of the buyer's journey that is considered invaluable. So if that's a new piece of information they need during the buying process, we want to include that information on our website. To take it a step further, I'm going to break that down into 3 areas that you need to consider in the philosophy of building out that website and updating your website over time. Customers need to eat. It's broken down by expertise, which I've already brought up in terms of its importance surrounding thought leadership, surrounding knowledge and information that you have as industry experts and passion folks. That's the type of content that is going to be really helpful for your customers and to provide a better customer experience. So specifically, it's about creating a blog, walking through, top 10 tricks to take care of these products, to find the right products, what materials in the products are they looking for, or an FAQ section, a frequently asked questions section, getting at what are the most common questions that you hear in store or you hear online, and making sure that those answers are available on your website. Authority is kind of like part 2 of expertise. It's once you become an authority in the space, by providing that expertise, by hosting and leading community events, you're going to become an authority in the space, and Google is going to value your website because of that expertise that you provide on an ongoing basis. You're going to start to show up more often in those searches. You're going to see a higher amount of visitors to your website, and in the end, more sales. Last is trustworthiness, which is boiled down to Google reviews and product reviews. Amazon has reshaped the consumer journey, and today we look at each other's opinions about products and we weigh the business decisions and the business perceptions of products a little bit less. So if you ask me what's the best point of sale and e-commerce system, I'm probably going to say Lightspeed, maybe because I know it most, but you're going to take that with a grain of salt. Whereas if you ask a fellow business owner, what is the best tool out there for point of sale and e-commerce, and if they say Lightspeed or Shopify, you're gonna really value their opinion because they know what to look for. They were in your shoes. Goes the same way online. So you want to include as much testimonials, customer success stories, and product reviews on your website as well as in Google's ecosystem to really propel users to build trust with you even before they meet you in person. This is important in terms of customer acquisition or finding a larger audience that might not have ever come into your brick and mortar locations. So areas that you don't need to consider, these are included in all of the themes that are provided in our theme store. All of our themes, site structure has SEO in mind, so has been built around the idea and the importance of SEO. In terms of the site structure, the featured products and categories, the way that the category structure is built through the navigation as well as through the sitemap. Customer reviews are built into all of our themes, as well as all of our themes are mobile responsive, which means that whether you're using a desktop, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device, or whether you're on a tablet, this homepage or this website, these products are going to auto shrink and grow depending on the screen size. In terms of usability, a lot of the themes are built to be very fast loading and to be organized with the consumer experience in mind. Now, if you were to customize it and add pop-ups and newsletters and videos, what you're going to be doing is slowing down how long a page takes to load on someone's screen. And believe it or not, Google will rank that. Google weighs that in terms of their SEO standards to your site. So we always want to be cognizant that these are important areas, whether the website loads fast, whether the structure is easy for Google to index. And when I mean index, it wants to know where products live and where categories live in the hierarchy of your website's code, so that when a customer searches Google, it's going to be easy for it to send those Google customers or those Google visitors to the right areas of your website. You want to have a really clear call to action. That's digital marketing speak for one single action you want your customers to take, one behavior you want them to follow on the website. It could be truly anything. It could be read our latest blog, check out our latest collection of spring apparel, maybe follow us on Facebook or Instagram, whatever that is, whatever your goal is, you want to make it clear from start to finish. I see a lot of home pages on Lightspeed themes that are pointing a consumer in 10 different directions. Now, if we understand the statistic that a customer will usually take 15 seconds to decide whether they want to stay on a website or leave, if they're spending those first 15 seconds reading a ton of content on your homepage and looking for where the products that they care about are, they're going to spend the first 15 seconds not seeing a single product, leaving and having a bad experience. Our homepages and our entire website needs to be clear and sharp and focused. Otherwise, your consumers are going to be taking a long time to find what they're looking for, or they're going to be hopping from page to page. And those unfocused experiences lead to bounces. They're going to leave your website. They're not going to stay. They're not going to find what they're looking for. In the end, the heart and soul of our websites are our products. We want those customers spending as much as that first 15 seconds as possible within those product pages, checking out that main focal point. So now let's talk about some free tools to help your customer experience. We're looking at ways to make it easier for you to build that better customer experience. And we've talked about a few things: expertise and authority, and about providing information so that we can help our consumers throughout that buyer's journey. We know that consumers are not just going to buy products without actually researching and getting the knowledge that they need. So let's make it easy for them to find that on our website. This is a free tool. It's called Pure Chat, and you can add it to your website. It takes about 5 minutes, truth be told. And this allows you to have a one-on-one conversation with every single person that visits your website, if they want. That is going to allow you to provide that amazing, personalized recommendation experience that they get in store that's a little bit harder to receive online. If I have a question and I'm able to chat with someone right away on the website, I have a much higher rate of staying on that website and buying a product then and there. Alternatively, if I visit your website, only see products, don't really see the knowledge or the info I need, I'm not going to buy any products. I'm going to keep going to different websites until I find the information I need. And if a website has the information I need as well as the products, well, then I value their business a little bit differently because I see that they're experts. They know what they're talking about. They've chosen these products because, well, the proof is in the pudding. They know what they're talking about, and that info is right on the website. There is Better Coupon Box, which collects emails and different ways of engaging. Another great tool is MailChimp. It's a free app in our app store that allows you to start to collect email addresses on your website in the hopes, the goal is to communicate with your audience over time, engaging with them, staying top of mind, updating them when there's a new collection, a new discount, a new promotion, or even a contest or fun activity going on in the store. We're going to be talking about different communication channels a little bit later on, but believe it or not, it's not ever going to be one size fits all. You're never just going to be able to choose Facebook over one or the other. Sometimes consumers prefer one over the other, and you're going to want to have a wide audience that will have different channels that they prefer. Let's talk a little bit about keywords. Keywords is digital marketing talk for the language that consumers use online when they make product searches. We've all done it before, whether we go on Google or maybe another search engine and we start typing in, new skis or best t-shirts, best controllers, best books under, $20 or best skis under $100. These searches are going to lead to a ton of product sales, and understanding what searches are most representing your line of business, your industry, your products, it's really in the end about matching that up. So step one, research the language or the search terms that are used to find your industry products. Step two is to then add that type of content into different areas of the website, whether it's in the back office or whether it's creating content that, answers those top questions or provides information for those top terms. So there's a ton of really great keyword tools that you can use, whether it's the Google Keyword Finder, whether it's Answer the Public. You want to be looking at different types of keywords. So I can get very specific. Am I looking for men's size 11 black shoes? Or am I just looking for men's shoes? And different businesses might have different niche focuses, and you're going to want to understand, what are your general terms, whether it's just books or whether it's your long tail term. And a long tail keyword, it just has a lot of, adjectives and descriptives added onto it. So we have comic books, and then we have dystopian, Western comic books written in English. We're going to get to that in a little bit. I know it's quite technical, and I know this is honestly the most technical aspect of SEO is understanding keywords. But once we do this 10 minutes, hour of research, this is going to propel and fuel so much of our efforts in terms of improving our SEO. So let's take a look. Google Trends is a really cool free tool that's going to allow you to understand most popular search terms. These search terms, you can then fuel your content and your website so that you're matching up with those search terms that people are looking for. Here's an example. I was working with a carpet and rug store in the United States, and they had done a ton of sales in store. They were quite happy, quite successful. They were looking to expand online. They have great conversations around, rug cleaning. They provide rug services and rug repair. They have a wide range of contemporary rugs and modern rugs. So that's what they added to their website. And you know what? They didn't see any sales. They had a ton of great products. They did really well in store, and they couldn't understand. Those business owners and myself had a conversation, and the first thing I really asked them was, well, what are the keywords that you're using? What's the language that you use on your website? So they said rugs. So I decided to look up that term rug in Google Trends, and I see that, okay, it's popular enough. People are searching for it, but maybe there are keywords. Maybe there are search terms that are more popular being searched. Maybe there's a term that is a lot more common that's being used. So I included the term carpet. So now I'm comparing two different terms, and statistically how often one is being searched over the other. And the proof is evident once you understand that this red box showcases how often people are searching for the term carpet, this blue box, rug. Right away, we are seeing that every single day, 9 times out of 10, customers are much more likely to search for the term carpet over rug. In every single state in the United States, consumers on Google and search engines are looking for carpets over rug. And even when they are searching for rugs, it's expressions, I let my guard down, and wet grass rug, which is possibly an outdoor rug, a little bit outside of the indoor carpet experience. So we did our keyword research. We learned that carpet is a much popular term than rug. We updated their website to include carpet cleaning and modern carpets and carpet repair. And once they associated their website to the popular search term, the correct keyword, they saw a steady increase in their sales. They were more often found in those search results, in those Google pages. And because of that, they saw a nice increase in sales on their website, as well as in store, because they started to see more people learn about their business, because Google was creating a wider net to provide merchants, because they saw that, oh, this website really knows what they're talking about. They're using the most popular search term, carpet. We're going to push all of the merchants, all of the customers over to them. So now that we're understanding keywords a little bit more, now that we're understanding the difference between normal and long tail keywords, let's try and use that in the real world. We've done a little bit of research. Now let's find a way to add that information into our website so that we are communicating to Google the right type of information. We are providing Google indexable information that will provide knowledge to our customers and that keyword information for Google. So answer the public, similar to Google Trends, specifically it's about understanding what are the most common questions people search for in Google. So let's say I was opening up a store and I wanted to start selling snowboards. I want to have an FAQ about what are the most common questions around snowboarding so that I can provide those great answers on my website. Can snowboard helmets be used for biking? How snowboard pants should fit, how snowboard bindings should fit, where to buy snowboards, where to snowboard near me, what snowboard size should I get? You're seeing a pattern. These are questions people ask before buying these products. If I can collect these most popular questions and add an FAQ section to my website, I'm being data-driven. I am basing my website decisions on thousands and thousands and thousands of Google searches. This is a smart move. This is going to help my customers when they visit the website. It's going to move them faster through the buyer's journey, and hopefully they're going to buy right away instead of having to go to other websites to find the information they need. It's also going to provide Google with the right type of keyword information so that they're going to be sending a lot of Google searches to your website. Another real world example of where to add this keyword research is here in the back office. I am in a product. The product is called East of West. It's a comic book. Here, and we have our search engine listing preview. I'm going to click edit. And this is where we can feed Google-centric information. It's specifically called a meta description. And a meta description is one sentence that best describes your product using these descriptive keywords. That was a mouthful. Let me break it down. My meta description here for this comic book is it's a Western comic book set in the dystopian future. Jonathan Hickman wrote this amazing story in 2018 and it's written in English. I am giving Google many different keywords to find this single product. Someone's looking for a comic book. On Google, they're going to search for Western comic books, or maybe comic books set in the dystopian future. If they know what they're talking about, they might look for the author specifically. So they might look for Jonathan Hickman books or comic books written in English. I am giving Google a ton of roads to find my product, whether they're looking for a genre, whether they're looking for a topic or an author. That keyword information is included in my website so that more often than not, visitors on Google are going to be able to find my website. This can be done for every single one of your products. And if you are keen, you can import this through a bulk import using our import and export tool so that you don't have to do this product by product. Cool. If there was really one area I would want you to start on, if you have a chunk of time, it's your meta descriptions. This is really one of the most important aspects that Google will look at in terms of SEO standards for your website. Cool. So SEO and strong content, we've kind of covered. I've been skipping ahead a little bit, but you want to focus on long form content. We've talked about FAQ, but blogging is really important because it's such dense keyword information, and it's such great educational content that's going to help your customers. It's going to help Google point more customers your way. And soon enough, you're going to be an authority in the space. And maybe you're going to start to have guest blog articles on other people's websites. And now you're pointing more and more websites to your website. And in the end, you want to build as many roads to your online store as possible. If you don't have meta descriptions, and let's say on social media, you're pretty quiet, you really don't have that many roads to your website. Maybe if they come into the store, they hear about you and they learn to find you on your website. Maybe there's a link on your Facebook, but successful websites have 30 and 40 and 50 links to their website. It's 50 times the chance of having someone visit your website and make a sale. I have this conversation quite often because of its importance. A lot of merchants who would like to be more successful come to me and ask a very similar question. How can I increase my conversion? And it's actually the wrong question we're asking. There's two numbers that we need to be thinking about in terms of our online store. It's number of traffic, so how many unique visitors come to our website, and the second number, conversion, what is the percentage of that total number that actually buys the product? Industry standards for different verticals, whether it's the biking industry or the vaping industry or the apparel industry, have quite different conversion rates, but I've seen a lot, maybe 1 to 3%. That's a very, very, very tough number to change. The number that is much easier to change is the number of visitors to our website. It's going to be a lot easier for you to go from 100 visitors to a week to 1,000 visitors a week than it is for you to go from 1% conversion to 4% conversion. And in the end, if it's 1%, whether we have 100 or whether we have 10,000, that's going to make a difference. And we as business owners have a ton more control over finding a larger audience to visit our website. Conversion is very tough because online consumers are fickle as heck. They could honestly have 5 browser tabs open with 5 different websites just looking for price. Or maybe they're visiting and they're on their mobile and something happens, they got to get off the metro, right? There are so many factors can influence conversion. That's just not worth our time compared to the best use of our time, which is increasing the raw number of unique visitors to our website. So these blogs are going to help you increase that raw number because you can get it picked up on Facebook. You can start including it in your newsletter. You're creating content for different channels. We'll get to that quickly. So the last thing I wanted to touch on in terms of product and category information is enabling those product reviews. Incentivize and motivate your customers to leave reviews, even if it's a discount down the line. It's going to go a long way because it's going to embed trust into the DNA of your website. We need trust, and not coming from us, the business owners, because there's no weight really in what we're saying for people who don't know us. Now, for some reason, they weigh other strangers who have bought the product with a lot of value. And for that reason, we really do want to enable our reviews on our website as well as in Google. Cool, so let's talk about some strategies to increase that raw number of visitors to your website in the end and focusing on your SEO at the same time. Creating the blog, start of the week, let's say it's Monday morning, 9 a.m. you spend an hour and you write a nice blog. educating around your industry and providing some of that passion and that thought leadership. On Tuesday or on Monday afternoon, you can post that blog on your website. Got some content there. Tuesday afternoon, you can share it on Facebook and kind of have the post around the top 5 tips of the week. On Thursday, you can share a link on Instagram along with, your new post. And then Saturday, when you send out your monthly newsletter, you can include the top blogs of the month. And right then and there, we spent an hour Monday morning writing a blog, and we were able to have content for Facebook, for Instagram, for your website, and for email newsletters. Blogging is a great use of your time because you can reuse and recycle content. You can break it down and share it on Facebook and post it somewhere else, and it's really not a waste of your time to be writing content and to be educating and showcasing that knowledge on your website. You want to highlight local. There are a ton of searches that are bike stores near me, coffee shops near me, boutiques near me. So you want to allow Google, again, to find your website in this local experience. Google My Business is one of these tools that are going to help you provide the right information for those local searches. It has great information around links to your website, directions on how to find you, your phone number, your address, and our reviews. And you can see the second line right under the title of the business is their review on 5, the star system. It's so important to have these reviews. It's so important. Customers sometimes just won't buy products if there's no reviews. I do not want to understate the importance of setting up Google My Business. It's free. It doesn't take you too long. If it seems like I'm talking to you a lot about providing Google with the right information, it's because I am. That's so much about what SEO is, that it's understanding the right information, truly step 1, and then providing that right information in the right locations, whether it's Google My Business, whether it's in your blog, whether it's in your FAQ section. This one's less fun and showy, but Google Search Console is like your weekly doctor's health check-in on your website. Google Search Console will just sit quietly in the background, not making any noise, not really adding anything to your website, but it will ensure that you don't have any dead links, any bad links that are going to zombie websites. It's good for you to have the peace of mind that everything on your website is functioning properly. Social media in 2010, very social, mostly consumers, one to another. 2020, successful businesses, 10 out of 10 are leveraging social media. If we think about some really great businesses that have grown and have really created a foothold and created a community, we think about Lululemon. They have a massive social media engine that communicates to the consumers at the right time and at the right place, educating their consumers. When people go to Lululemon's Facebook page, they're not expecting to get sold to. They're expecting to learn about the new yoga sessions. What are the top tips of the week in terms of staying prepared for the yoga classes and staying flexible, etc. It's so much about the knowledge and about creating a community, about surrounding a loved passion, hobby, product, experience, whatever it is. Social media is an avenue in which you can become close with your audience, educate your audience, build that trust-based relationship. Social media is a really, really powerful tool. And there are a ton of great strategies out there that you can start by understanding how often should I post? When should I post? What should I be talking about? All those answers are online and can be taken advantage of. Last tool, promise, I'm going to talk about Google Analytics. If you haven't set it up today, set up Google Analytics. It's going to do many things. To me, the most important are twofold. One, it's going to tell you about your customers. Specifically, it's going to say, where are your customers coming from geographically speaking from your website? What products are they looking at most often? How long do they stay on your website? Are they coming from a desktop computer or a mobile phone? Think about this. If you found out that 95% of your customers were coming from a mobile phone and that your website was hard to read on mobile because it had extra videos or because the images were too big, that's a problem. And I go through this exercise a lot with merchants that I work with. And the fact that you don't know how often your customers are coming from mobile to desktop means that you are not building an optimized experience for your customers. You're not listening to your customers and you're not shaping the website around what they're looking for. Secondfold, Google Analytics is really great about helping you understand the ROI of your online store. It will tell you how many products were purchased over a week. What was the average basket size? These are going to help you build a better online experience, and collecting the right information is important, and Google Analytics really helps you understand that aspect of your business, the data aspect. Okay, so from the top, customers need to eat. Providing expertise through blogs and FAQ sections, authority, being an authority in the space like Lululemon, has allowed them and granted them incredible trust in their industry. And Google reviews, whether it's by setting up your Google My Business or setting up your product reviews in your website, these are going to be great ways to create and allow trust to be an important part of your website. You want to make sure that you're giving your customers great experiences and that information they need at the right time through apps like PureChat. You want to discover the best keywords, and the best is specific to your customer base. So we've learned about regular keywords. We've learned about long tail keywords like the Western comic book written in 2018, and how we can add that information to our website as well as to our communication channels. There's some great free tools that you can implement, and that will build a better relationship with Google. Google Search Console, Google Analytics, and Google My Business are those three tools that can really help you build that better relationship. So I'm going to give everyone about a minute to jot down some questions you might have. I'll come back then, and I will be happy to run through all of the questions that you lovely folks have been writing down over the last little bit. So thanks, everyone. I'll be back. Okay, hey everyone. So thanks for jotting down some questions. I'm going to go through them one by one. Starting at the top, we have a really good question. Where would I add a search word that is spelled wrong? So maybe this comic book, maybe they are always spelling dystopian wrong. And that's very, very common. So we have our meta description, which is the most common sentence or the best sentence to describe the product. And then we have here in our next section, our meta keywords. Our meta keywords are going to be the individual words that you want to include to tell Google, hey, Google, even if they're spelling a term wrong, like stationary or stationary, they're spelling it wrong. They're looking for this term. It means they're looking for this product. So Google, don't worry about it. We understand that a lot of people online are searching for this term incorrectly. So here, I would include the term, dystopian. If it's dystopian, if it's stationary, it's stationary. So here in the meta keywords, this is going to allow you to almost like tell Google, hey, these words are normally spelled wrong. We still want to cast that large enough net and include those Google visitors to our website. Very good. Next question. Is the meta description and the meta keywords basically the same thing, except for one is a sentence and should they be different words? Really interesting. So they should be similar words. The meta description, to get even more specific, is showcased in Google search results. So if I were to search for, let's say, a restaurant here, this content, a tuck shop is a small food selling retailer. It is a term principally used in the UK, Ireland, Grenada, South Africa, Nigeria, New England, Jamaica, and Australia. It's like a elevator pitch. It's like a quick little neighborhood eatery for upscale, market-driven, eclectic dishes in a compact, cozy room with a bar. That would be your meta description. It's the tagline to your website to incentivize and to get these website visitors here on Google to check out your website. Keywords can be a little bit more expansive, and you can widen that net. So if people search for the term tuck shop, or maybe they don't use a space and say tuck shop, you still want your website to show up. So this is where you would include those keywords. Let's say I want to do local Montreal cuisine, and I want to find this restaurant. I would use local Montreal cuisine in my keyword section. I would use market fresh restaurant. I would include that because these are different ways to describe the same product. Whereas a meta description is that tagline that will help visitors go from Google to your website, as well as to help Google index the kind of products in the catalog that you have. So if it looks like those are the questions for today, so I wanted to thank everyone for your time and the really good questions. I want to remind everyone that I'm going to be sending all of the links from Google Analytics to Pure Chat to keyword research. I'm going to include all of those links in my follow-up email to each and every one of you. So thanks so much. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and wishing you the best. Thanks so much, everyone.